and welcome to Women to Women. We have a brand new guest, a very special lady that caught my attention from the Nevada Appeal. But before we get to our program, I'm Carol Paz, your hostess. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Villa Bass Deli Cafe, home of Pete's famous Basque chorizo, as well as Carpa Nevada LLC, importer of fine Portuguese olive oils, balsamic vinegar, and international health teas. So let's turn to Jennifer Bailey and welcome her very much. Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, a pleasure. Jennifer, your story in the recent past really caught my attention. And I said, this is a lady who's a fighter, she's a role model, she's a teacher, yay for teachers, yay. I'm a teacher, okay. And she is remarkably gifted with an attitude and with an inner feistiness that we all need to have, and I really appreciate this in you. So Jennifer, we know that you're battling cancer, and it's been a long time battle, okay?
I'm stage 4.
You're stage 4, and you've been battling this for 11 years.
11 years.
Which is remarkable.
Almost 12, in fact, 12 in June.
12 in June. And my audience may not remember, but I've also battled breast cancer twice in my life. And that was 30 years ago. So the drugs that are available now were not available onto me, but it is, it's a courageous battle, it's a courageous fight. And it takes lots of inner focus, confidence to do this.
Yes, it does.
Well, let us get started with your story, okay, before we come to this new part of your life, and cancer does that. Help us understand, okay, where are you originally from, Jennifer? Where did you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in Los Angeles County.
Okay, and that means that as a Midwesterner, I'm not sure what that means to grow up in Los Angeles County as a kid, okay? What does it mean?
Well, I grew up in a little town, it was a little town, called Agora Hills, okay. And now they've renamed it Agora Hills.
All right.
It became a really, I don't know, hot area to live in.
Okay.
It was supposed to be very popular.
It was a destination place.
It was a destination, but when I grew up there, it was 1-acre parcels, and people had sheep and cows and
still very rural
animals. Oh, it was very rural, and it was wonderful to grow up.
And isn't that surprising to drive by there now? And if I didn't know what you just shared with me, that it used to be a sheep grazing, animal-loving area, yes. I would never know that.
No, I don't think you would.
No.
I don't think many families are left, original families, that lived there, because it just kind of got overrolled by the Hollywood crowd. And
okay.
It's a beautiful place, though.
It is. Well, now you are a teacher.
Yes, I am.
And recently a librarian.
Yes.
So books must have been a big deal with you as a kid. Did you read a lot?
Oh, I read constantly. In fact, in my high school class, they always said I had my nose in a book. It was just, I read almost all the books in my middle school library.
And you know, Jennifer, I'm like you too. I think those of us, there was television that came along maybe when I was 10, 11 years old, and it was a newfangled piece of furniture, okay? Yes. We had to sit back a certain distance because it could be dangerous to our eyes, we were told. But I think when you grow up...
I was told that too.
Yes, okay. But when you grow up with books, and there's that encouragement from parents, you actually remain a book lover all of your life. And television has a very small percent of your time and focus.
Yeah, there is a book called Read 20 Minutes, and your child will start reading to you, or something like that. But it is true.
Yes,
My mom used to read me a bedtime story every single night. And I just think reading is the most fabulous thing, because you can explore all the worlds.
You can, and the characters, you can go anywhere you want to go.
Yes,
and
you can.
You become passionately involved with some of those stories, especially of history, and realize that, wow, there's a whole world out there I've never even been in. I didn't know it existed.
And a lot of places you can visit,
yes.
even if you've never been, out of the country.
Yes. Okay, Jennifer, Where is your background in terms of education from? Did you decide to go into college teaching, high school, elementary, middle school?
Well, my education was a little different.
Okay.
I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for college.
Okay.
And I wound up transferring several times. I got married when I was in Cal Poly.
Okay.
And I wound up graduating from San Jose State, following my husband. And then I wound up going to the University of Nevada, Reno, which is a fabulous school. And I got a master's degree there.
Welcome to Nevada.
Yes, welcome to Nevada. It is beautiful. We came on my honeymoon. My husband and I came, obviously, on our honeymoon, and we just didn't want to leave. It was gorgeous.
I think it's kind of a cultural shock to those of us who were not born around the desert.
Yes.
But once you arrive, it takes you. It takes your heart. It takes your mind. You don't want to let go.
I love going to Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
We're 20, 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe, and yet we are 20 or 30 minutes from desert. It is just,
It's a unique environment.
It is a unique environment, and I ride horses, and that way...
And you're still
the
riding.
Trail riding, oh yes. I've ridden
Wonderful.
the Rim Trail with my daughter when she was small.
Okay, Jennifer, let's head into when you come into Carson City, okay? And you are not a home buyer yet. You're moving into some apartments. And that's when you discover that you have cancer.
Yes.
Which was about 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
Okay, how was this discovered?
Well, to be honest with you, I just had my second baby.
Okay.
And everybody thought I had mastitis. It's something that occurs when you're breastfeeding.
Yes, yes.
And it's supposed to be somewhat painful.
Okay.
And,
And it was?
Yeah, it
was.
Well,
okay.
no, it was not. And that was that was my one of my clues, because I kept talking about, well, could it be mastitis? And the doctors assured me that it was mastitis. But I just had a really strange feeling. I went from several doctors and, it's mastitis, it's mastitis. And I really had a strong feeling it was not mastitis. But I couldn't get a mammogram because I was nursing.
Yes.
And I even went to Reno, and they said no, even if I nursed my baby, they would not be able to do a mammogram. That was a few years ago. Now they can do that, I've been assured. But they just decided, it's mastitis, wait 6 months, and it will be fine.
Did you wait 6 months?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I didn't wait hardly at all.
So what did you do?
I went to a surgeon.
All right.
And I sat down on the surgeon's table, and he said, "Oh, you're fine. It's mastitis." And I said, "No, I don't think so." And I just crossed my legs and crossed my arms, and I decided
I'm not leaving here.
I'm not leaving until I get, some diagnosis of some sort.
Yes.
And he went ahead and he diagnosed. Well, he
did he do a biopsy?
Did a biopsy.
All right.
And then a couple days later, it went back through. They went back through and called it they had to redo it.
Okay. So they repeated the biopsy or a type of biopsy again?
No, they didn't repeat the biopsy, but they had to go back through and run it one more time.
Okay.
They just didn't trust what
the reading
results were, or the reading. And my doctor called me in tears.
Oh.
It was just amazing. I couldn't tell who the voice was.
Because he was so emotionally distraught.
He was so emotionally distraught, yes. And he reported that I had breast cancer.
Did he tell you what level of breast cancer?
No.
Okay.
He wasn't able to determine that, but it was a pretty big lump, about the size of an apricot.
That's a big lump.
That's a pretty big lump.
Yes, it's been there for a while.
Yes or no. I don't know how, because of my having just had a child.
Yes.
I had a lot of estrogen running through my system.
Of course.
And so it might have been there as a small lump for quite a while, and it grew with the
pregnancy.
Yes.
Yes. And there are different types of breast cancer.
Yes.
Some are more aggressive than others. And it's very important, as you're indicating to us, that physicians have a lot of experience, and they're listening, and they need to listen to what women are saying to them.
Oh, they do.
You have an inner instinct there that says something is not right, and you know it.
Oh, yes.
But you don't have clinical evidence of it yet.
No.
And so, all right, Jennifer.
People thought I was paranoid because I just kept saying it.
Yes, but you knew.
I knew.
You knew.
And I did have that same surgeon that called me back in tears. He did the surgery.
He did the surgery.
Because I thought he would do a really good job because he was emotionally
involved already.
Yes.
And I think, Jennifer, in closing this first half, you're making a very important point to our viewing audience, and that is you need to have trust in the physician who is going to be doing the surgery, if surgery is required. And for most of us, as it was for me, surgery was required.
Yes.
And when you come out of that surgery, you want to be able to talk to that doctor straightforwardly, and you want him or her to talk to you in the same way so you know what you're dealing with.
Oh, my doctor was wonderful. My surgeon was wonderful. So
we're going to come back in the second half to your story. Don't go away. This is riveting.
Apex SCF provides cutting-edge, hands-on training that effectively addresses today's threats of violence.
The Apex Stay Alive course teaches proven methods for personal protection and attack countermeasures that can be applied in any environment. In your home, at the workplace, or on campus, Apex will teach you the necessary skills to stay alive, including how to recognize and react to an active shooter scenario.
If you knew you had to fight for your life tomorrow, would you train today? Contact us now to sign up for a class in your region.
Are you looking for a healthier lifestyle? A more nutritious diet? Do you care about quality? If your answer is yes, or if you are just curious, come into Villa Basque Deli and Cafe right here in Carson City, Nevada. Discover fine Portuguese extra virgin olive oils, vintage balsamic vinegars, and a wide assortment of international health teas provided by distributor Carpa Nevada LLC. In addition to these terrific items, Villa Basque is also the home of Pete's famous Basque chorizo, handmade on the premises from Pete's secret family recipe. Satisfy your culinary curiosities. Don't delay.
Blast into summer with Carson Nuggets $1 million red, white, and blue summer giveaway, where we are giving away scooters all summer long. And with daily free play giveaways, cash bash weekends, outdoor barbecues, and more. Come in today to heat up your summer.
Hi, I'm Stephen Lincoln with CarsonCityHomes.com, Carson City's original online real estate resource.
At CarsonCityHomes.com, you get effective and easy-to-use tools to help you select your next home today. With our easy-to-use website, you can search listings throughout Northern Nevada and narrow the results by selecting every facet, quirk, and quality you desire. Visit CarsonCityHomes.com.
Report of wildland fires threatening structures.
When disaster strikes, will you be ready? Information is essential during a disaster. That's why we use the latest technology to keep you informed. When you register, you'll receive emergency alert messages on all your devices and phone numbers at once. Go to ReadyWashoe.com. Click on the Get Message icon, then just fill out this quick form. It's easy. Don't get caught unprepared. When disaster strikes, be ready.
Welcome back to our program, Women to Women. Again, I'm Carol Paz, your hostess, and we're here with Jennifer Bailey, who is an incredible person. She is currently battling and has been battling cancer, breast cancer, and metastasizing of that breast cancer that we're going to get into for 11 years. So Jennifer, remarkable story. And I'm going to let our audience know right up front that we may carry on with another program with Jennifer. But before I get to Jennifer right now, I'd still like to thank very much our sponsors, carsonnow.org, which is the place to go on the internet for the latest breaking news here in Carson City, as well as Apex SCF, proven methods for personal and corporate safety that they train and educate us with, as well as the Nevada Appeal and Record Courier, who always encourage us to shop locally and look for their special books of coupons in their Sunday editions. And now, let's turn back to Jennifer. Jennifer, okay, we know that you have a diagnosis of breast cancer. We know that you're going to have surgery. You have the surgery. When you come out of that and you're able to talk to your physician, what does he tell you?
Well, I had actually several talks.
Okay.
My family physician came and assured me. I was so worried. Everybody else was crying, but I was worried about how quickly the cancer would reproduce.
Yes.
I was feeling like I was laying on the bed and I thought I needed to get chemo right away.
Yes.
And my family physician informed me that no, you have some time. It takes at least a month for the cancer to start doubling. And so I was reassured by that because I'd just gotten everything removed. And my surgeon said he'd gone beyond the scope of the surgery.
Meaning what?
Removing more lymph nodes than he was supposed to. He said he just wanted to make sure I was clean of all that he could get me clear of.
Okay, so Jennifer, are we talking about a single mastectomy or a double bilateral mastectomy?
I had a single mastectomy because it was only affecting one breast at that time.
So your physician is explaining that he went further than he really had anticipated because he wanted to make sure that you were clean of the disease. Okay, and I understand from having been a cancer patient myself that you want to get started right away.
Right away.
We don't want anything to take off on us, and we're not prepared for it. So what else does he share with you?
Well, meanwhile, my family physician had come in and assured me that I wasn't wasting my time and not getting started in chemo right away.
Okay.
Because he said that I would be able to have 30 days or more in order for the cancer to double.
Okay.
And
did that calm you down?
That calmed me down.
A lot. Okay.
It calmed me down. My local, the cancer doctor, he said that I could, I was clear because the PET scan came out clear.
Okay,
and
that's a very sophisticated piece of equipment.
Yes. And so I had some freedom there. And my daughter and I rode part of the rim trail around Tahoe, and we were having a ball. And then I had a recurrence. And my recurrence...
Now, how did they know it was a recurrence? How did you know?
I had one of those feelings in my head that things were not going right again.
Yes. Isn't it amazing
how amazing, yes.
And you try and explain that to anybody else, and they think that we are...
Nuts.
Yeah, to put it mildly, nuts.
Paranoid.
But you know.
Yes.
You can feel it in your body.
Yeah, and I just didn't feel like I was having headaches and things that I normally didn't have. And it showed up in my brain.
It had metastasized to your brain.
Yes.
In how much time?
Maybe a year. I was clear for 6 months, and then there was there were some little pockets of cancer starting again, and my oncologist started treating those. Okay. And then it went into the brain, and he said that was beyond his
line of surgery. Okay. And so you go to a neurosurgeon.
I went to a neurosurgeon.
And so approximately a year after your initial mastectomy,
yes.
Now you're in for brain surgery.
And first they did, they radiated my head.
The whole head.
The whole head, because there was some little things, little pockets starting right under the skin of my head.
Yes.
And that's why I don't have any hair.
Okay. So now, after that piece of surgery, were you cleared? Or you went through a treatment for radiation and chemo?
Well, they decided there was other pockets in my head. There were three other pockets, so I had three open brain surgeries in 3 months.
Oh, and you know what is remarkable, Jennifer? I just have to say this right up front. You have your faculties about you.
Yes.
I want to share this with you very quickly. When my first husband in New York, had brain surgery for cancer of the brain, we were at a very well-known hospital in New York City, and people from all over the world came there. That day of his surgery, there were 5 major pieces of brain surgery. He was one of them.
Wow.
And he was the only one, which would have been nearly 20 years ago, not only to survive the surgery, but to have his faculties all in place. He could still think, talk, walk, all of those things that we take for granted.
Yes.
And you're a beautiful living example of having your ability to think clearly. Wonderful.
I had a wonderful neurosurgeon. She did a marvelous job.
She?
She.
Yes, okay. Now, Jennifer, there's a long time to recuperate after that type of surgery, isn't there?
I just wanted to get back to work. I'm a teacher, and I love my teaching.
And that was healthy for you.
And it was healthy for me. And I took 2 weeks off for every brain surgery.
Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah.
You have been looked over and blessed
Yes.
by lots of people and
Yes,
by a very
do.
loving God.
I do believe in God, and I do believe prayer, and
It's powerful.
Oh, it is so powerful, and I feel better that people are praying for me.
Yes. Now, Jennifer, you say it's after the first brain surgery and the treatment that you lost your hair, and you decided to keep it this way.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I decided wigs were not my
Not your thing.
not my thing after my one of my wigs blew off at school.
Oh, dear.
I was yes, and the kids were very helpful. They ran after my wig because in Nevada
It's
the wind
windy.
is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty
Very strong.
and it hit the fence. And one of the students came back to me with the wig, and I decided at that point that I really didn't want to wear the wig anymore because I wanted children to be able to see
Yes.
my bald head, to be able to maybe if their family had somebody without hair, or the child had somebody without hair, or a friend had somebody without hair, that they would be okay with it. Because I'm still alive, and I'm still...
Isn't it amazing how your priorities change?
Oh, yes.
They line up very quickly.
They
and they
do.
weren't what they were originally. And you know something, Jennifer? I have worked with, like you, lots of children, some of whom had leukemia, lost their hair through treatments, etc. And for the first time, I recognized, as I'm doing with you tonight on the show, that the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the cheekbones are so expressive.
Yes.
Hair can take all of that away. It can detract
I used
from
to
it.
hide
You have
behind
a
my
beautiful
hair.
face.
I had hair down my back, and I could put it forward, and I would hide behind it if I needed to. And I can't anymore. And it
You are
is
Jennifer.
fine.
It's just fine.
It's wonderful.
And there are so many adults and children who have so much appreciation because of that support that you're giving them, that support. Okay, tell us, what has life been like since the surgeries?
You know, I had to get a better helmet for riding my horse. I still
Okay.
ride my horse.
Wonderful.
And my mare is marvelous. And, you know, my children seem to be fine with it. The first night I had my head shaved, my daughter, when I shaved it when she was asleep,
Okay.
my husband and I did that. And she woke up in the morning and looked at me and she said, Mommy, your head is beautiful.
Oh, how old was she?
She was about 2.5.
Oh, she just wanted to see her mommy.
Yeah.
Mommy's being there. That's the most important thing.
Yes. I
Yes.
still am. Yes.
Now, how do the students and how does the staff where you work at Riverside Elementary? Riverview.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they are wonderful. And the principal is very understanding.
You have to be the star of the staff.
I don't know about that, but yeah. It was interesting. I've had several parents comment over the years. Mm-hmm. One child in particular was losing her hair, mm-hmm. and they said, the reply, the mom was concerned about her losing her hair and how she would feel. The little child just smiled, and she said, "Oh, Mom, I will just look like Mrs. Bailey."
Oh, so you are a role model.
Yes, I am.
You are something there placed in that school, placed in that community for a reason, for a purpose.
For a reason, for a purpose.
Yes. And all of this that you have been through, Jennifer, and that you're still continuing to go through is for a purpose.
It is. I believe so.
You believe that?
I really believe that.
It's not by accident.
No.
And the fact that you have been battling this for 11 years is not an accident.
No, I don't think so, because I think I've inspired a lot of people.
Oh, yes.
I've been told by the cancer resource lady mm-hmm. at Carson Tahoe that she uses me as an example. And I have no issue. I love people coming up and talking to me if they have cancer. And
it's a time of sharing.
It's a time of sharing.
And we need to have that knowledge.
Oh, yes.
We really do. Jennifer, I'm going to do something very special on the show. I'm going to ask you to come back to finish your story with us.
I would love to.
Okay, I would love to do that with you as well, because there's another side to cancer. There's another side that the audience also needs to be a participant in, and that's the financial side. It's the ability or the lack of support sometimes from our state legislatures, sometimes from our federal government.
Yes.
And we need to hear that. Would you agree to do that?
I would love to talk to them.
Thank you.
Talk to your...
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you very much.
So thank you so much for being with us tonight. Have a good evening.
Hi, I'm Genevieve Frederick, founder and executive director of Pets of the Homeless.
Pets of the Homeless is a non-profit, all-volunteer organization that provides pet food and veterinary care to the homeless and less fortunate in local communities.
We're a national organization with over 200 collection sites across the United States, one in Australia and a few in Canada. Our national organization, since 2008, we've collected almost 50 tons of pet food that has been distributed through various organizations across the country, like food banks, homeless shelters, and soup dining rooms. With donations from the public, we are able to provide these kinds of wellness clinics across the country. Since 2008, our wellness clinics have provided over 2,500 animals with shots and medical care.
I'm Dr. Woody Allen. I'm a semi-retired veterinarian in Carson City, and I have worked with the Pets of the Homeless for about 4 or 5 years now. And when Genevieve Frederick started the program, our hospital was the first hospital to help her with collecting dog food and finding people that needed our help. On this website, you'll be able to find sources where you can get food on a regular basis if you need it.
With donations from the public, we're able to provide homeless shelters with crates, bowls, cleaning materials, so that homeless with pets can come into homeless shelters and get the services that they need to get out of homelessness.
If you are in need of food, supplies, or services for your pet, or would like to donate or volunteer, visit petsofthehomeless.org.